The beautiful girl in the blooming season is reduced to a tool for making money. As long as she is given money, she is willing to do anything. This man is called Michael and he is a farmer. Michael came to the church to pray, hoping that God would give her a wife. When Michael came to town, he took a fancy to Abigail. Abigail made Michael very obsessed, but Paul laughed at him. Paul said Abigail was a whore, but Michael still wanted Abigail. Michael paid money to come to Abigail's residence and told Abigail to marry her. Abigail didn't believe the man's words at all. Abigail asked Michael to go out, but Michael was not discouraged and came to Abigail again and again. One day, Michael was going back to the farm and he kissed Abigail for the first time, but Abigail mocked him as just a farmer, not worthy of him at all. Michael left disappointed. Abigail looked at Michael's leaving back, feeling indescribably sad. There's a reason Abigail doesn't believe in love. It turns out that Abigail was originally the illegitimate daughter of a wealthy family, and the mother and daughter were kicked out of the house by their father. The mother can only sell her body in exchange for living expenses. Soon after, my mother never woke up in bed. Young Abigail was sold to Eric. When Abigail grew up, Eric used Abigail to make money. On this day, the man came to Abigail's residence, but the man didn't know Abigail's identity. Afterwards, the man learned that Abigail was his daughter, so the man committed suicide. Abigail took the opportunity to escape overnight, and Abigail was robbed of money on the way. Abigail was rescued by Duchess, who took Abigail to a brothel. Soon, Abigail became the top card here, and countless men were willing to spend money for her. Abigail is the most beautiful woman in the town. As long as the money is in place, you can have a spring night with Abigail. If Abigail doesn't listen, he will be tortured. Seeing that Abigail was disobedient, Duchess slapped Abigail in the face directly. Abigail found Duchess and wanted to get his salary back, but was threatened by Duchess and beaten by Duchess men. At this time Michael came to Abigail's residence and saw Abigail lying on the bed with scars all over his body. Michael took out his savings and redeemed Abigail from Duchess. Michael asked Abigail if he would marry him, and Abigail nodded. So Abigail came to Michael's house, and Michael took good care of Abigail. Abigail wanted to leave after his injury healed. Abigail sneaked away while Michael was working. When Michael came home, he only saw the ring left by Abigail. Michael caught up with Abigail but was slapped by Abigail. Michael took out water and clothes. Abigail was very hesitant, but went back to Michael's house. Michael cooked the meals and washed Abigail's feet. Michael was so kind to Abigail, Abigail was very moved. After that the two lived a happy life like a newlywed couple. They dig eggs together and weed together. Abigail wanted to repay Michael, but Michael refused. Michael wanted to calm down in the river. Abigail laughed when he saw Michael's behavior. Abigail had a nightmare at night, and in order to appease Abigail, Michael took Abigail to the top of the mountain to watch the sunrise. On this day, Paul came to Michael's house and recognized Abigail's identity when he saw Abigail. After Michael left, Paul mocked Abigail for not being good enough for Michael. Paul asked Michael why he was looking for a prostitute, and Michael heard someone insulting Abigail. Michael knocked Paul down with one punch. Abigail is the most beautiful woman in the town, but was married by Michael because Michael was really kind to Abigail. Michael hugged Abigail and said he wanted to have a baby with Abigail. Abigail froze when she heard this, because she was barren. Years ago, Abigail was pregnant with Eric's child, but Eric killed it cruelly. Eric also made Abigail never get pregnant. Abigail put down the ring and chose to leave. Abigail meets Paul on the road, and Abigail pays the fare by having sex with Paul in order to get into town. But Paul actually drove Abigail out of the car halfway. Abigail went back to work in the brothel, and Michael still came to find him. Michael took Abigail home, and the two of them were silent all the way. At night, Abigail was very sad to see Michael crying in the warehouse. Abigail came to the creek and wiped himself. Abigail wanted to wash off the dirty body. Michael came to comfort Abigail. On this day, Michael rescued the pregnant woman Jamie. Jamie gave birth to a baby at Michael's home. Abigail saw that Michael liked children, so he told Michael about his infertility. Abigail asked Michael to find a fertile woman. Abigail left Michael again. This time Michael did not go to Abigail. Abigail was looking for a job as a chef in the city, but Eric found him. Eric sent someone to burn down the restaurant. Abigail was very sad. Abigail exposed Eric's evil deeds on the podium. Abigail saves the little girl. Eric hanged on the castle. 3 years later, Paul saw Abigail. Paul confesses his mistakes to Abigail. Paul persuaded Abigail to return to Michael. Michael has been waiting for Abigail. Michael, who was working in the sunset, saw a familiar figure. The two kissed together. Michael put the ring on Abigail with his own hands, and the two started their happy life again.